What's up, TBS crew? It's your boy Steph back with another reaction. This time we have Creepypasta Jr. A Strange Door appeared in my house. Creepypasta uploaded July 20th, 2019. Now, down in the description will be links to Creepypasta Jr.'s channel, to this original video, and to all of my social medias. Get at your boy and see the personal light that I don't upload to YouTube. Without further ado, let's get into it. As y'all know, with Creepypasta Jr., anytime strange is in the title, it's gonna be a good video. It's gonna be a good story. I'm telling you. Factual.
A little background before I get into this, as I'm severely creeped out.
It be like that.
My name is Chris, and I live just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. My family had moved here after my dad had been relocated due to his job. He supervises car manufacturing plants, and they just so happened to have a location that needed overseeing here. We had moved down here shortly after I graduated high school. I had been lucky enough to get a job online so I could work from pretty much anywhere, provided there was internet. Even though I wanted a place of my own, to leave the nest as it were, my parents were more than kind enough to let me stay with them for a while. I paid them rent, of course. Not as much as a typical apartment, mind you, but it was better than nothing.
Right.
The house we moved to is basically in the sticks. I'm talking surrounded on all sides by forest.
Hell no.
Well, apart from our front yard, which stretches towards the main road.
No.
Our house is nice. Well, as nice as a house can be in the middle of nowhere. My father is a big nature guy, and when my parents were choosing a house to purchase, this one just seemed to have everything they were looking for. We had lived in this house without issue for around 3.5 years. Not long after my 21st birthday, my parents surprised me with a gift. Well, more like an opportunity. My father was once again tasked with relocating to oversee a new plant being constructed in Florida. At first, they were just going to sell this house and move down there, but instead, offered me the house. I was shocked, to be honest. I made sure they were financially able to accommodate this move without selling the house, and they assured me it would be fine. They ended up purchasing a small mobile home in Central Florida. My parents told me they didn't need a massive house and would be happy with whatever I decided. I accepted, and after a few months, I became the owner of my very own house. Living alone in a place like this can be unsettling at times.
No shit.
I'd often catch myself glancing out one of my windows and see nothing but blackened trees swaying in the night. The isolation I felt was palpable.
It be like that.
It wasn't nearly as bad when my parents were around. Something about that childlike assurance was enough to ease my mind. That quickly vanished once they left, however. If I had known it'd be like this before they moved away, I might have just taken them up on that offer of going along. So, it's been about a year since my parents had moved, and I was pulling another all-nighter on my computer. For those of you wondering, I process pharmaceutical requisitions and forward them to the proper clients. I'm basically tech support for pharmacies. I was sitting in my room trying to make a dent in the mountain of email requests I had received throughout the day. After mindlessly typing away at my keyboard, I glanced down at the time and saw that it was 3 o'clock in the morning. With a stifled yawn, I rubbed my eyes, which had been strained from my bright computer monitors. I planned on only doing a half-hour more of work before bed, but I was in desperate need of something to drink. My house has your basic home layout. Living room with an adjacent kitchen. A hallway which branches off from the living room to 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. We have an upstairs loft/room where I used to sleep, but I've since taken residence in one of the downstairs rooms for convenience. I stumbled out of my room and made my way towards the kitchen. After drinking 2 large glasses of water, I placed the glass in the sink wiped my mouth, and turned to head back to my room. I stopped dead in my tracks, about halfway through my living room. There was a door in my hallway. A new door. One I had never seen before. When I first noticed it, it reminded me of an episode of Doctor Who, where an escaped alien convict takes up residence in one of the characters' houses and hides in a room which they couldn't see. I was stunned. I wasn't sure what to do. I had lived in this house for 4.5 years, and all that time there had only ever been 3 doors down that hallway, the 2 bedrooms and the bathroom. As I stood there, I thought about calling the police, but what would I say to them? Hi, yeah, a random door just appeared in my house. Please hurry. They'd probably throw me into an institution.
Yeah.
My legs felt fused to the living room floor. I was unsure if I was just incredibly tired or if there was something wrong with the water I drank. I took a few deep breaths, and after doing so, I regained a faint amount of feeling in my legs. I took a few shaking steps towards it. A part of my brain was just filled with warning alarms, and another was brimming with curiosity. Even though this was obviously unsettling, the mystery was just as provoking. After what felt like hours, I managed to walk up to this door. I simply stared at it for a while. It looked identical to both of the bedroom doors, which were clearly visible down the hallway. I tried to calculate the structure of my house in my mind. If I was thinking correctly, there was no way this door could exist. The exterior wall was supposed to be on the opposite side from where this door stood. So either this door opened to the outside, or someone had built an addition onto my house within the last few hours. I placed my ear near the door to see if I could hear anything inside of it.
Which is impossible.
Unsurprisingly, there was no sound, other than the distant cacophony of insects outside. I could feel my palms beginning to sweat as I reached down for the knob. I gripped the handle tightly and turned. The door seemed to almost pop as it was unsealed. I pushed it open as slowly as possible, craning my neck to peek inside. From what I could make out through the tiny sliver, it appeared to be another hallway. I pushed the door open further and leaned my head inside. It was indeed a hallway that extended forward maybe 20 or so feet. At the end of it was another door which looked identical to the ones in my house. I should have just shut the door and left for the night, but that looming curiosity in my head was pleading for me to investigate further.
Here we go.
I entered the hallway and softly walked towards the other door.
Stop being so curious.
I once again put my ear up to the wood, and this time, I could hear something on the other side of it.
You better not open
It sounded almost like air moving inside. Not so much a gust of wind, but more like breathing.
See.
My hand gently rested on the doorknob, and just as I was about to turn it, a slam sounded on the other side of the wood.
Oh.
The sudden impact sent me flying backwards, and I landed hard on my back. Before I could even register what had happened, another forceful slam shook the thin wooden barrier between me and whatever it was on the other side. I was so terrified at whatever it was that was making that noise, I couldn't even stand up. I just sort of crab-walked my way backwards as pound after pound sounded upon the door. Once I was about halfway down the hallway, the door crashed open with a sharp crack. I was expecting to see some large, beastly creature on the other side, but all I could see was a void, black and empty. The inky darkness that filled the room beyond seemed to stretch outwards into the hallway. Seeing this, my body instinctively stood itself up, and I sprinted the remainder of the way. I grabbed the knob and pulled the remaining door hard.
A dark void.
Just before it shut, however, I glanced behind me and I could make out a shape in the darkness.
Sound like my ex-girlfriend.
It was horrific. Like something out of the minds of King, Craven, and Geiger combined.
Geiger? What?
It was incredibly thin, but immensely tall. Long arms and legs jutted out from its narrow torso. The best way I can think to describe it is like one of those stick bug things. I couldn't make out its face as it was too obscured by the darkness in the chamber.
I hated those things.
But I could, however, see its eyes.
Sticker bugs.
Like two orbs of fire shimmering in the night. Its elongated appendages would shoot out from the dark and scrape along the walls, pulling it closer and closer. I slammed the door shut in its face and backed away from it. A forceful slam reverberated on the wood in front of me, and that was enough to send me running for my car. I swiped my keys off the counter and dashed outside,
You should have been
driving
did that.
off into the night. I spent the entire night just driving around the city until the sun came up. I had only just returned about an hour ago, and when I entered my house fully expecting to see that thing waiting for me, there was nothing. I glanced around the corner into my living room to look at the door.
It was gone,
And
right?
it was gone. What I had experienced the night before wasn't some hallucination. There was no way that was possible. I didn't have to look too hard to confirm my beliefs, though. From where that door once resided, there was what appeared to be very faint blackened scratches along my wall, leading all the way to my front door. I think I'm going to check myself into therapy for a while because I must be losing my mind. But, just in case I haven't lost it completely, whatever was trapped in that mysterious door
You let it out.
is out now. And I have no idea where it could be. If any of you see a mysterious door appear somewhere in your house,
Nah, I'm good.
please
Don't open it.
do not open it. I don't think you'll like what you'll find within.
That's common sense, though. The fact that you even opened the door at all. The fact that you even, interacted with this door that just spawned out of nowhere shows that you were willing to put your life on the line. And you did. And it almost got taken. You almost got snatched up. Damn, you almost got, homie. I told y'all this was going to be a good story. Anytime Creepypasta Jr. has the word strange in the title of his video, you know it's going to be a good story. You know this shit going to be on point. And that, man, like, I've never heard this story, but I've heard stories similar. Like, they came in contact with, like, a door and, like, out and about somewhere or, something. And crazy things happen when you open it, when you investigate it. But when you go to show people or, you come back after whatever happens, it's gone. Oh, and that's another thing. The location of the story, the setting itself, was already a no-go. It was already a negative. Surrounded by nothing but woods and trees and all that. The only area that's not covered by it is your driveway. Like, no, fam. No, I don't see how people do that. I understand it's just a creepypasta, but people literally have houses like that. Even out here in Northwest Indiana, they have houses like that. Like, you're surrounded by nothing but dense tree line. Like, I could never. I don't even fuck with nature. Even if I did like nature, I don't want to be surrounded by it like that. You're engulfed by it. Like, nah, man. I'm good on all that. Fuck that. Normal people don't do that shit. I don't care what nobody say. Thank you so much, guys, for watching my video. If you enjoyed the reaction, leave a like, a comment, and share the video. And if you really liked it, subscribe to the channel and tap that bell icon so you will get notified every time your boy Steph drop new content, which I do 7 times a week. That is all I got for y'all this time around. Your boy Steph is out.